GVEC has its own economic development team, as well as our team that works directly with commercial accounts. And so anytime there's a new business that's looking to move into our service territory or expand within our service territory, we're there working with that individual business, making sure that they have everything that they need. Not just from a power supply perspective, though. That's certainly our number one priority.
Welcome to Gone to Texas, the official podcast of the Texas Economic Development Connection. On every episode, we share the stories of business owners and CEOs who have relocated or expanded their business into Texas. Our goal is to use these stories as a guide to help others who are ready to hang a sign on the door that says, Gone to Texas. And now, please welcome your host, the Managing Partner and Chief Inspiration Officer for Day One Experts, Super Dave Quinn.
Howdy friends, and welcome to another episode of Gone to Texas, a podcast powered by Day One Experts. I'm your host, Super Dave Quinn, and today's episode is brought to you by our friends at the Gonzales Economic Development Corporation, a community that doesn't just wait for growth, they prepare for it. And to prove it, we're talking with a man who knows exactly what it takes to power that kind of progress. Darren Schauer, General Manager and CEO of GVEC, one of the largest and most forward-thinking electric cooperatives in the nation. Under Darren's leadership, GVEC has expanded far beyond electricity into broadband, solar, battery storage, HVAC, and full-service electrical solutions. But what really makes Darren and GVEC unique is their deep commitment to economic development. And they aren't just keeping the lights on. They're helping build the future of business in South Central Texas. A proud graduate of Texas A&M University with a degree in agricultural economics, and a strong history of leadership across the utility industry, Darren brings big vision, boots on the ground wisdom to this conversation. If you're a business owner wondering what kind of infrastructure, speed, and support is available in the Alamo region of Texas, this episode is going to flip that light switch for you. Let's get into it. Darren, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dave. Glad to be here.
All right, so let's give a little context. What is GVEC?
Yeah, GVEC is a cooperative. We are owned by those we serve. We are a provider of electric utility services in a large geographic region in South Central Texas, basically adjacent to the eastern side of San Antonio. So we serve a lot of the suburbs outside of San Antonio along the 35 corridor, as well as the I-10 corridor. We stretch about 120 miles east into more rural parts, which includes the city of Gonzales, city of Shiner, Hallisville, city of Cuero. That's our kind of region of our service area. Beyond electric utility services, we're also a broadband provider. So we serve fiber to the home in a large segment of our territory and provide wireless broadband services as well. And as you mentioned, we're also involved in rooftop solar, battery storage, and electrician services and HVAC services as well throughout this region of Texas. And as you also mentioned, a big part of what we do is trying to help out this service area, making sure that folks know about who we are, this region of Texas, and the great things about this region of Texas. And so love to help out with economic development as well.
Tell us a little bit about your coverage area, GVC. You guys really do a lot. I mean, I grew up in a small town with co-op electricity and went to even the co-op camp, summer camp, leadership camps, one of my all-time favorite memories. But tell us a little bit about what an electric co-op is and what that means to a business owner.
So, GVEC is a cooperative. We provide multiple services, but primary service is electric utility service. And we serve this region of Texas that's just east of San Antonio, a lot of suburbs outside of San Antonio, along the 35 corridor, I-10 corridor, go about 120 miles east and about 90 miles north and south. So pretty large service area. A lot of it suburban, but a good part of it rural as well. And as a cooperative, the basic, it's a form of corporate structure, but it's a pretty unique form of corporate structure in that we are owned by those we serve. And so if you buy electricity from us, you're not just a customer, you actually become a member of the cooperative, and that entitles you to certain privileges. And the primary one is that it allows you to elect our board of directors. And so our board of directors are actually customers of ours, members of ours that are elected by the membership within this region of Texas. And so it's very, very much locally controlled and influenced. It requires us to be very community oriented and very community focused as a cooperative. And that's just kind of real briefly that kind of structure, the corporate structure of who we are. I like to compare it to some degree like a credit union, but probably even more local in a lot of ways in that and how we interact with our communities.
Yeah, I think that's a great example of the credit union. That's a great analogy. So as a business owner, I'm coming into Texas. One of the questions we get is about the power situation and the grid. A lot of them have heard the news stories from several years ago, and they may be coming from an area where they're sort of forced into these power outages, and manufacturing. That's not a good thing, right? And so you might talk a little bit about y'all's infrastructure in the region and just how you're working with the business owners to ensure that reliable electricity that's delivered when they need it.
Yeah, certainly. The utilities and electric grid across Texas was the spotlight 2021, but I will tell you a lot has changed since 2021 as far as the regulation over the infrastructure, but also the investments in infrastructure itself. And here within our service area, we're committed to making sure that our customers have the power that they need when they need it. That's just as a cooperative, that's the commitment that we make, is that we're going to be available for you anytime of the day or night, making sure that you have the reliable power that you need.
So, and tell us a little bit how you work with economic development resources. I mean, you serve a lot of different communities across your region. And what does that mean to a business owner? A lot of them don't know or understand the relationship with, the utility and the economic development. Kind of talk a little bit about what that means in your world and how you have representatives to help with business owners when they're moving into Texas.
Sure. Yeah, GVEC has its own economic development team, as well as our team that works directly with commercial accounts. And so anytime there's a new business that's looking to move into our service territory or expand within our service territory, we're there working with that individual business, making sure that they have everything that they need. Not just from a power supply perspective, though. That's certainly our number one priority, but we work with the cities, the counties, making sure that everyone understands the needs of this particular business, whether it be financial needs, whether it be other types of infrastructure needs from a utility perspective, water, wastewater, gas. We're there as a resource to help gather that information. And at times we've been a resource to actually bring that type of infrastructure to the facilities themselves. It kind of every situation is unique, but GVEC, depending on the type of company that we're working with, we go everywhere from buying the land to financing to helping with other infrastructure in addition to just the electric side of our business. So very involved in economic development, very involved in coordinating with the communities that we serve, making sure that we're doing our part to attract that business, that potential business owner, making sure that he or she has what they need as they move into our area.
That's good. So, you talked about resources and being a partner. How important is it for the business owner to connect with you guys? And at what point in the stage should they do that? Is it like once they buy the building and got it, or where do they reach out and start that conversation with utilities such as GVEC?
For us, the sooner the better. I mean, if they're looking at the service area, and a lot of it depends on the type of load, the type of needs that they have from an electric infrastructure perspective. But depending on the size, we like to be involved from the very early stages, making sure that we're going to be able to meet the timelines that they have, their expectations that they have for service. Because again, depending on the size of the business, a lot of these require certain lead times for equipment and things of that nature. So we want to make sure that everyone is on the same page as far as the expectations for the business.
once you've landed, once they've become a customer, are there resources that's available to them through you guys to kind of help them continue to grow their business?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, we have our own staff that works directly with the commercial accounts. This is anywhere from, just a small mom and pop business up to the very largest Fortune 500, companies that we deal with. So we're there from the electric side, making sure that their operations are as efficient as they can be. So we want to make sure that any energy efficiency programs that we can help them put in place to help them reduce their power supply needs, to help them reduce their costs. We're there to advise them and help them to understand what they can do. Beyond that, we're also involved in the broadband business, so making sure that they have the type of internet access that they need. If they want to purchase that through us, it's certainly a value-added service that we have available to them. Renewable energy, a lot of folks are becoming more and more interested in, solar, having rooftop solar on their businesses, having battery storage inside their businesses. GVEC is involved in those activities, and glad to work with any of our customers who may have those needs. And then again, I just go back to the overall relationships that we have with the communities and the cities, the economic development corporations that we're involved with. The Gonzales Economic Development Corporation are strong partners of ours that we work closely with. Just making sure that we as a service provider and as a community, that we understand the needs of that business and making sure that we're doing everything that we can to help them be successful.
I think that's you mentioned community, and our particular target audience are those small to medium size manufacturers, small business owners, and this is more than a business decision for them, right? Yes, it's because of their business and they want to grow, and they've heard Texas is great for that. But when it comes down to it, what they're looking for is a place to raise their family, to be able to hire good people. Talk to us a little bit about the culture that you find in your region. And I mean, you obviously have a great number of employees. Talk a little bit about your experience in what that's like living and working in the Guadalupe Valley area.
Yeah, fortunately for me, I had the privilege of growing up in this region of Texas. I actually grew up in Gonzales, and then had a chance to come back home after A&M and keep working for the cooperative. So I've been very fortunate to have been able to spend my entire career here in this location, this part of Texas. It's a very small town atmosphere, of course, very close knit type of community in Gonzales, but all the different communities that GVEC serves in, whether it's Shiner or Cuero or Seguin, all the different communities in which we surround are relatively small after you get outside of San Antonio. So you have a close knit group of folks, people who are very community oriented, people who are tied very much to the schools and the Friday night football and all the sports activities, the kids activities, and so you really get to know the people within your own community. And
so we've talked about when they need to contact you. We've talked about the culture. Do you have any examples of manufacturing? I mean, you guys, what are some of the top businesses that you guys service in your area? What are types of businesses that you're really seeing move into the area?
Yeah, we serve a very large and diverse segment of commercial accounts pretty much across multiple industries, anywhere from steel manufacturing, rebar manufacturing, which is one of our largest loads, to automotive transmission manufacturers, to feed mills, lumber, what's the right word? Truss manufacturers, wooden truss manufacturers. We serve a rail yards there in the city or right outside the city of Gonzales. It's a huge part of bringing goods in and out of the Gonzales community. A lot of agriculture that we're involved with, and serving those farms and ranches, and the sophistication that goes along with that today. Poultry, and huge poultry industry, from Tyson's Foods to more local Homes Foods and their feed mills, and again the broiler houses and the the laying hen houses that come, or breeder hen houses that come along with that, cow main with egg production. So lots of variety of industries throughout GVEC service area.
Gonzales, deep in the heart of Texas. It's a place you want to be, whether it's to learn about our history and the birthplace of Texas freedom, our hospitality, our wonderful events, or maybe you want to come and open a business because of the legendary work ethic. Gonzales is the place to be. Located minutes off I-10, just 1 hour from two of Texas's biggest cities, Austin and San Antonio, we're also located just 2 hours from Houston. Gonzales has a quaint small-town charm with most of the amenities of big city life, including nightlife downtown, a beautiful public library, and shops to outfit the entire family. We have the perfect location for you to come and visit, or to come and live. Deep in the heart of Texas, we are Gonzales, Texas. Right, so really, it's a good fit for just about any number of different business industries, and where you guys are located. You might, I know we talked a little bit about the towns, but from somebody coming from outside, kind of give them a general sense. Like I said, they know a lot of times they'll know Dallas, Houston, and Austin, right? Like that's kind of, and San Antonio to some extent. That's the area. Kind of give them a sense for where you're operating.
Yeah, that's So as I mentioned, just east of San Antonio, but then south of Lawson, about 60 miles is where our headquarters is, which is Gonzales, Texas. And then if you go east another 120 miles or so, you get to Houston. So very centrally located between San Antonio, south of Austin, and west of Houston. The far reaches of our territory on the far eastern side, we're probably an hour and a half or so away from Houston. So a large geographic region that has a lot of access to the largest metropolitan areas in Texas.
Yeah, it's a really nice part of Texas too.
Yeah, it is. It is. Thank you. Yeah, we like to think that it is, and it's good rolling hills, lots of timber, live oaks and post oaks, and lots of good hunting, good river that runs through it, the Guadalupe River that runs through our service area. So hence the name Guadalupe Valley. That's a great part of Texas.
So let's talk a little bit about, Gonzales is obviously the host of today's show. Talk a little bit about Gonzales. You grew up there. What makes that part of the world so good for a small business owner coming in? Again, they're looking for connections. They're trying to figure out, where do I go in this massive state? What makes Gonzales special? What have you liked about living and operating in that area?
Of course, Gonzales is the birthplace of Texas independence. Of course, that's where the first shot of Texas independence was fired, and so we're very proud of that. Our historical reference to the Texas Revolution is a big part of the big identity of who Gonzales is, and so we're very proud of that heritage and that history that we share among and within the community. And it's that spirit getting things done, spirit of working together, spirit of inclusiveness for the folks within our community that we all strive to have with one another. Lots of opportunity. Labor force here in Gonzales is a strong labor force. People who know how to work and know how to get the job done. Kind of that spirit that we have here within our community. So the infrastructure, certainly in certain parts of our service territory, especially right around the city of Gonzales and the industrial park, lots of opportunities there. The water's there, the wastewater's there, we have the power there, we have the broadband there. Basically, any utility infrastructure needs that you have, we're there ready to serve for anyone who's ready to come in.
I always tell people, if you've ever go to the museum and see the cannon, you expect this massive thing, and you realize just how get it done, problem solving it is when they're willing to take a cannon that was, the size of a pistol. I don't know, it's not very big. And take on a standing army and say, okay, let's go. That is kind of the spirit that exists there. Y'all still have that problem solving, coming together. What is it if you don't have it, we'll figure it out and you make it happen. I love that about Gonzales.
That's right.
So let's real quick tell people how they can find you. We'll obviously put it in the show notes and drop it in on the descriptions and stuff. But if people wanted to reach out and connect with GVEC, what's the path for that?
Yes, for you. Of course, we have our website. This www.gvec.org. That's a good way to go and find out more information just about GVEC in general and our service area and the services that we provide. But certainly, we want to have a relationship with anybody who's very interested in coming to our service territory. So we wanted to work directly with you. I mean, you're welcome to email me at my email address is first initial last name. So DSCHAUER@gvec.org. We have our economic development folks, so you can give them a call at 1-800-223-GVEC and ask for economic development, and they're going to put you in the right spot with Daisy Shesky. She can answer any questions that you may have.
Well, I love that. I don't, whenever the other thing that catches business owners off guard is just how willing people are to help them. They're not used to, at every turn, it seems like people are throwing up, roadblocks and barriers. And the fact that you just gave out an email address to the CEO of a power company, it blows people's minds. And I tell them that in Texas, we really do want you to be successful. We're not scared about you being successful. We understand that's what the world is. We were meant to be productive and we want to help you get there too. They're just not used to that. And it's just, it's so fun to hear them just be awestruck by, and they really don't believe it at first. It takes a little bit. But after a couple of phone calls, they call me back and they say, gosh, you're right. Everybody really wants us, really is just trying to help.
And I think that even speaks more to not Texas in general, but as you get out and working with cooperatives, we really are community-based and community-oriented. And then these smaller towns that we have the opportunity to work with really even further extends that spirit and wanting to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to help that business be successful.
Well, Darren, thanks so much for your time today. I know you're super busy. You've got all kinds of stuff going on in the region, and I just want to say thank you. I know Susan appreciates your partnership. She speaks very highly of GVEC and the great partnership that you guys provide with them. And so thank you for that.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Gone to Texas, the official podcast of the Texas Economic Development Connection, powered by Day One Experts, a collection of the country's best-known economic development professionals offering on-demand services to communities across the nation.